The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Knapik. Thanks for joining us. Show number 609, and we're going to have a fantastic time here. As we always have great guests to bring insights into real estate, community, and everything else, and even a little bit of law enforcement here today. We're going to talk about Fulshear, and we have two special guests from Fulshear. Number one, the mayor. He is Mayor Don McCoy, and the captain of the Fulshear Police Department, Captain Mike McCoy. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you, Bill. Thanks for having us.
Well, it's good to see you. And Fulshear gets so much attention, even on this show and far beyond. But let's start with the mayor, Mayor Don. Let's tell people, everybody loves Fulshear.
Well, I think everybody does. It's really one of what I like to call America's success story. 200 years in the making. Founded in 1824. We just celebrated our 200th birthday a couple of years ago.
Wow. In
the last 10 years, it has exploded, and I think it's due to several factors. We still have that small town feel, I believe, especially when you get over into the planned communities and the different places in Fulshear where people live. We have great schools. We have both the KDISD and LCISD school district within our city limits, so people move there for great schools. With Captain McCoy here, safety is of paramount. We are known as one of the safest cities in Texas, at least in the top 5 on an annual basis, always in the top 5 of one of the safest cities in Texas, if not the United States. But what I love most is there's a heart there in Fulshear. Everybody talks about diversity, and they talk about how Fulshear and Fort Bend County, for that matter, is one of the most diverse places in the country. But I don't like the word diversity, Bill. I think the root word there is divide. So I like to say we have a unity of cultures in Fulshear, a tremendous amount of vibrant cultures and people that bring so much to the table and just give our town such that character that buildings and things like that can't overcome.
Indeed. And also your background before you were mayor, you were part and still are connected with the Chamber of Commerce.
I am.
So your
Yes, sir.
insight that enables you to do the mayoral position.
Right.
I mean, Fulshear, you've talked about Fulshear prior to being a mayor. You've promoted it. You've gotten the feedback, and you've talked to people all over the United States, at least, about coming to Fulshear those many years ago, and still do, I guess.
Well, it's important. 13 years ago, we started the Fulshear, what is now called the Fulshear Regional Chamber for Commerce. But also, chambers of commerce are there for the community as well, not just businesses, but for the community. And as businesses start to come to our town to service the increase in population we have, people want their grocery stores and their conveniences. There's always been sort of the idea that government and business seem to always have that sort of adversarial relationship. It's very hard to get a permit, or I can't get this through whatever, and permitting's a pain. Well, we're trying to bridge that gap, and people in our city, in our government, and in our staff, and in our police department, and the captain can talk on this too, is I'm about customer service. And I'm sure at Stewart Title, that's probably one of your top things too, customer service. So when I ran for mayor, and even now today, I said, my goodness, if I can have a town as clean as Buc-ee's, I mean, as clean as their restrooms, if you will.
That's a good thing to aspire to.
And with all the construction right now, it's a little tough with the roads, but have that. Have also customer service, like people know Chick-fil-A in the world. That's no one's ever had a bad experience at Chick-fil-A. I would say Culver's right now is right there in our town. And then also, thirdly, is have raving fans like the Savannah Bananas. I want people to walk away from City Hall, from paying their water bill, from getting maybe a citation from our police department, said, in fact, I've heard this. Someone said, I never felt so good getting a ticket in Fulshear, Texas. And I'm so proud of our police department. As mayor, many mayors have trouble police departments, or it's a little difficult, or there's always things to deal with. I'm very, very lucky and very, very fortunate that police department is not one of my headaches. In fact, it's something I'm indeedly proud of. And it is one of the things that makes Fulshear very special.
Indeed, it's a key driver, and also how your office, the police department work together, and how you all work with the community.
Absolutely.
So here he is, and you're related, as I understand, to Captain Mike McCoy, and we're going to hear more from.
Well, Captain Mike McCoy he has a fun thing he likes to do is tell everybody I'm his dad. So I have people walking up to me out of the blue just saying, "Hey, I met your son," and I go, "I don't have a son."
Yeah.
And then,
okay.
But it's an ongoing little thing. I love this man so much. He's been my brother for 63 years, I think. Is that right, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah,
and
not
quite. Right?
I've been very blessed.
So, Captain Mike McCoy, let's tell people what's going on from your perspective. And as far as you and the team, Chief Kenny, Officer Jennifer, you guys are known outside of the Fulshear community. I know about you. Many Houstonians do. But let's from your perspective as the captain in Fulshear, give us an idea what's happening there and why it's so popular.
Well, the community is key, right? So we have a very, very supportive community. I've been in this business for 44 years. This is my 44th year as a police officer. I started with the Houston Police Department, spent 31 years with them, retired for 2 days, a Saturday and a Sunday, and started on a Monday with Fulshear in 2013. So my wife wasn't very happy that I spent 31 years and then retired for 2 days, but she loves Fulshear. We love Fulshear. And I will tell you, I truly did enjoy working for Houston, but it is a different animal, right? The community in Fulshear truly does support us. They love us, and we are very, very big in the community. Officer Jennifer Edmonds that you mentioned and Chief Kenny Seymour, the community is our priority. We want to make sure that we're out there in the community, we're giving back. We have to make a lot of deposits into our community because every now and then we are going to have, I like to say, withdrawal. And hopefully we have enough deposits with our community to make them understand that we are human. And sometimes decisions that we make are quick and within seconds, and we don't have the luxury to sit back and go frame by frame and determine what happened like the people sitting at home do. So with social media, we have a very large following. And so for a town of 40,000 or so, we have over 101,000 followers on our Facebook page. And a lot of that is because we're always in the community. We're always doing something. I have several things planned this week, next week. Summer's here. We got canine demonstrations, movie nights, coffee with a cop. There's just so many things that we're planning because we want to make sure the community feels supported and in turn support us.
Those are, I think, massive innovations in Fulshear because a lot of law enforcement and a lot of other communities do not do that. So I think, and I was thinking about, you mentioned the number of followers you have. I imagine many are in Fulshear, but I know I'm one of the followers, so I think it attracts what you're doing on your social media. It attracts people from other parts of Houston, and they might even say, I'm moving out to Fulshear. I like what they're doing out there. But before we go any further, I do want to say thank you for your service, not just at Fulshear, but in Houston, Chief Kenny, Officer Jennifer, but also anybody that's listening here on the show in law enforcement. We appreciate your service massively here on this show and everywhere else. But you guys are doing tremendous work, and it's a big job the sacrifices you all make on a daily basis, whether it's Fulshear or anywhere else.
Yeah, the growth is happening, and there's nothing we can do about it. And like my brother used to talk, my brother and I used to talk as brothers. And not as a mayor and a captain, but I used to ask him, I said, what about all this growth, Don? Because I live in Fulshear, and I love Fulshear. And he tells me, look, if you weren't here in 1824, you're part of the growth. And he's right. He's right. So, the people that complain about the growth out there and about the crime increase with growth, it's going to happen. And we just have to be prepared for it, and we have to work towards keeping the crime at a minimum, right? We're very proud to say that we are the 6th safest city in America. And, with the growth, things change. And our goal as a police department is always to stay ahead of the curve, always be proactive. I never want to become a police department where we're reactive. I remember working prior to police department, ma'am, I've got lots of calls holding. I wish I could help you, but I've got to go. And I never want to be that police department. I always want to have enough discretionary time, have enough officers to cover the area so we have the opportunity to catch the crooks before the crime happens rather than go to the scene after it happened. So it's very important that we stay proactive rather than reactive, which is why we're always hiring. And like I said, that's our goal, is to always stay ahead of the curve because growth is happening and we can't stop it. Listen, I wanted to move to Fulshear in 2011 because I love the city. People today want to move to Fulshear because they love the city. So why you can't blame people for wanting to move to Fulshear. I know they don't understand the growth. They don't like the apartments. Apartments brings people, but that's what I lived in an apartment. I'm sure everybody in here at some point lived in an apartment, right? You have to start somewhere, right? So we need the apartments, and it doesn't bring crime. It brings people, and people need help. And if they're in the apartments, so be it. But it's not bringing crime, but it brings an influx of people. And with lots of people, sometimes crime happens. So it's important that we stay above the.
So go back to this statistics of the low crime aspect. As before we started recording, you talked about when I said, well, how is it that you could say it's low crime? Yeah. Because there's certain crimes not being committed.
Well, it's FBI. Yeah, it's FBI statistics, right? It's Part 1 crimes like murder. We don't have murders. We don't have aggravated assaults. You know, we do have them, but we don't have as many as other cities, right? Homicides, arson, sexual assaults, aggravated assault. Those numbers are very, very low in the city of Fulshear. What we do have our share of, because of the growth, is construction theft. Believe it or not, we have a lot of construction theft. But that's very hard to maintain and keep a handle on. Because a lot of times the people that are putting in the stuff are the same people going back later that night and taking
the
stuff.
You mean at the construction site, stuff's being taken.
And sometimes it happens, right? And so we also have our share of DWIs, but these are not considered Part 1 crimes. So we do have our BMVs, burglary of motor vehicles, but a lot of times, and probably 99.9% of the time, it's people simply leaving their doors unlocked because they do feel safe. But it's important, no matter where you live, there's going to be crime. Lock those doors, secure your valuables, and you'll be fine.
Mayor, as you talk to those, and I know you do a lot of research, and on our show we talk about how Fulshear has grown. And
you bet.
What are the trends that you're seeing? People are still coming to Fulshear, right?
They are. A good friend of mine once said, and it's very good for just about any city in the United States. He said, people say, man, I just miss the way it used to be. I'm sure Grandma, Grandpa say, I miss the way it used to be. And frankly, in America today, there's really not any city today like it used to be. It's always evolving and always changing. So honestly, we got to give the reasons we are here is be accessible, transparent on everything we're doing in Fulshear. One thing we're very proud of is our park system. Our bonds have come to fruition. We just completed phase 2 of Primrose Park. We've opened up some Little League fields and some softball fields. We have our first, we have an official Little League team, Fulshear Little League team, which I understand takes a lot to get that designation. So we have our own region, the Fulshear Little League. And, you know, for a long time, people in Fulshear were leaving Fulshear to go someplace and be entertained or go to a good restaurant or to take their kids somewhere to play ball or to do something. And for a long time, Fulshear has nothing to do in Fulshear except live in your home, which is fine. But, you know, you still strive for that entertainment.
You got to leave the house sometime, right?
So I'm just happy to say we have some developers that are wanting to come in and bring some commercial development that's going to address a lot of those needs within our city. So let's keep our entertainment dollars in Fulshear, the tax dollars in Fulshear. I was very surprised that up the street in Cinco Ranch, you've heard of La Centera, 50% of the revenue in La Centera comes out of Fulshear, Texas. And that was tracked with cell phone tracking. And I said, why can't we have a La Centera in Fulshear? We still have a need for a grocery store on the west side of Fulshear. That's coming. But with population growth, all those services start to come along. So now we got to strike a real balance between people living in Fulshear and using services in Fulshear. If you want peace and quiet and you want, like it used to be, get 10 acres in West Texas and you won't see anybody for days. but then you're going to have to drive an hour or more to go to a grocery store or go someplace and get your car filled up or go to the beauty store, whatever you do. But Fulshear, we try to strike a balance between all of that. And I think our council today is doing a great job at looking at all this very diligently, making honest and good steps so that everyone can be accommodated in a good way and Fulshear can still be Fulshear.
We're talking with Mayor Don McCoy of Fulshear, Texas, and his brother, Captain Mike McCoy of Fulshear, Texas. Okay, so, Don, let's tell people one of the most popular cities in the United States, Fulshear, Texas. What's the day in the life? I know it changes, but a typical day in the life of the mayor of Fulshear, Texas. Everybody wants to know.
I think when you've been so accessible as president of the Chamber for Commerce for such a long time, most everybody has your phone number.
You can't hide.
I can't hide, and I don't like to hide. I do get a lot of text and a lot of questions. Bill, it's sometimes these questions, I'm very diligent. I will not, first off, lead on social media. I will not answer questions on social media. That's just sometimes it's just a lot of griping and it's just not healthy. But if you want to talk to me, reach out to me. Send me an email. I'll get to you sooner or later, but I will talk to you. But I find one of the best things about being mayor is going out and interacting with our people. The kids, I get involved at the local schools. I'm the announcer at the high school football game, so I'm known for that. I will go out and go shopping at H-E-B up the street for 30 minutes to pick up a couple of things, and I'll spend an hour and a half at that H-E-B because I get stopped on every aisle, people asking questions.
Hey, there's the mayor. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And I don't try to hide that. I mean, I'll walk in with the shirt I'm wearing here today, and it says mayor, and I don't realize I have it on. And they go, hey, you're the mayor. Yeah, what can I do for you? But I think as mayor, that's what you signed up for, is to be a listener and listen to what the people are saying and then try to take the tools that the state allows me to have to make things right for our people. That's what we are as representatives. Too many times, the word politician, I don't like it so much, but too many times you'll hear them say, I will do this if you vote for me, and I.
Yeah.
No, I'm a representative. That's what my title is. House of Representatives. I represent the people of Fulshear, everyone in Fulshear. And so if you come and ask me, I'll do my best to see what I can do about your particular issue.
Captain, we talked about social media, and through the years, your police department, I don't know how many others use social media, but who had the idea those many years ago to say, hey, we're going to use this Facebook and these other things to connect with the community, because that's making a big difference. I see that.
Yes, sir. It's important to be transparent as a police department. I will say when I started in 1982, transparency was not a thing for a police department. Everybody kept everything in-house. But I think that it's very, very important that you are transparent. And I actually started the Facebook page for the Houston Police Department, a little bit of history, back in 2007. Nobody knew what Facebook was. So I was working in the public affairs office at the Houston Police Department after my stint in recruiting. And I started a Facebook page there. And it became very, very popular. And a lot of people started following the page. I got called to Chicago to talk to the chiefs of police, the association. And everybody shunned me. They said, we don't need social media, Facebook, we don't know what that is, go away. And I was shunned, and I walked away with the tail between my legs. And within a year, every single police department across the nation called me one by one and asked me about how do you start a Facebook page. And so when I came to Fulshear in 2013, we didn't have one. Chief wasn't really sure. Chief Seymour wasn't sure about social media. He wasn't a big Facebook guy. So I asked him to give me a month, give me 30 days, and I could show him how it's important that we communicate, two-way communication, not just one-way communication. I think it's very important to hear back from the people. And so within that 30 days, he saw the value of it. And like I said, we're reaching 102,000 now. So, and I will say I throw a lot of humor on there. We have a lot of alligator calls in Fulshear. I don't know why. It seems like every other day we get an alligator.
Alligators in pools.
I've got one in my pocket if you want to see one. But
bring them out.
But no, we have a lot of alligator calls this time of year, and I don't know why. We're not Florida, but somebody asked me one time, what kind of training do your officers have? And I say, we just stay away from the sharp edges because we really don't have a lot of training. We do have dog catch poles. They're all bent and chewed up, and when I give tours to the young kids, I tour the police station. They always ask me about the dog poles because they're all chewed up and bent. I said, not one dog. This has not been on one dog. It's all alligators. It's kind of strange how many alligators we have in Fulshear.
Well, people find it fascinating because I see that they're in the pools, on the driveways, and here's a big one, a little one, all that.
And we won't kill them. We'll relocate them. We'll put them back. We're not going to – if they become – where they come up on somebody's property or they come on the sidewalks, we'll just move them back into the lake. That's all.
Well, give us an idea.
Yeah.
Again, most people are not captains of any kind of anything, especially police forces. So what do you, a day in your life, give us an idea what you do on a daily basis, or at least one day.
Yeah, well, so we have 2 captains. So we have a chief, 2 captains, 2 lieutenants, and several sergeants and corporals. So as my particular position as a captain, I'm more of an administrative captain now. So I take care of all the social media, all the media involved with that. I'm also over backgrounds in recruiting because we are hiring, and I did a lot of recruiting when I was with Houston, so I have a lot of experience with recruiting. So that's a challenge today in today's world. Believe it or not very many people want to be police officers anymore. So it's a challenge to get good recruits. We will not lower our standards in Fulshear. We have extremely high standards in Fulshear. So it's very hard to become a police officer in Fulshear. We have that reputation. Don't go to Fulshear because it's hard to become a police officer there. But guess what? We get the best of the best when they do join us. So it's very hard, but we want it to be hard. I'm also over recruiting. I do all the community events. Officer Edmonds that you talk about, Jennifer, she's also helps me with all the community events. We do the Citizens Police Academy, which starts this week. Citizens Police Academy is a lot of fun. It's an 11-week course. We invite citizens to come take the class. We talk to them about canine, narcotics, investigations, use of force. We give a tour of the jail. There's a lot of fun in CPA. And so I wear a lot of hats in my position, but I'm also over evidence, and I take care of all the community, and I love it. I love what I do.
And as far as, let's say, safety for everybody, the average person, but also for realtors. Realtors have a special job, and they're having open houses, and the activity in Fulshear is incredible. How would you advise just the average person and or realtor that's out there as far as situational awareness and personal safety? What are some of the things that we should all be aware of, Captain?
Listen, every city can claim that they're very safe, right? Like I do. I claim that we're safe, but it doesn't matter where you live. There's always that element of crime. And I know it's not feasible a lot of time for these realtors, but when they do open houses, if they could have somebody with them there, whether it be a relative or another realtor, that's ideal, right? But just like it's ideal if we have 2 officers in every car, but we just can't simply do that. So I know with realtors, sometimes they just have one person, but obviously, perfect world, it'd be great to have 2 people there. You should always have 2 people in an open house because you're in there by yourself. And I will tell you that it's safety is if you do that, lock the doors, always be vigilant, always be aware of your surroundings. I can't, as a police officer, when I go into movie theaters, I'm always looking at the exits. I'm always sitting with my back to the wall. But that's just because of what I do. But I think everybody should at least look around and be vigilant and know where the exits are in case something does happen. It's a very real thing that can happen. Mm-hmm. Active shooters are all across America.
You never know, right?
So you always want to look, always be aware of the quickest exit out of that building, right? I do want to touch on one thing while I have you. We have this new program that we started about a month ago. It's called DFR, Drone First Responder. We have a large drone that was funded by a grant, a very large grant that supported all the funds on it. It's a large drone that sits on top of the police department, and when a call gets dispatched, say it's a robbery in progress or something, we will send the drone first. The drone can get anywhere in Fulshear within 88 seconds. And that camera can zoom in 400 times and look at that crook's hands and tell you if it's a cigarette lighter or a gun in his hand. And before the officer even gets there, we know what's going on. We have eyes in the air before the officer even arrives. It's pretty amazing.
Okay, wait a minute. Welcome to the future, right? So you're saying, and we want to repeat this. So on top of the station, the Fulshear Police Station, there's a drone that is waiting to be dispatched.
Yes.
So what happens again? So you get a call, hey, there's a robbery at the XYZ store.
Right. So let's say there's a robbery that occurs at one of the grocery stores or whatever, at the bank. The dispatch will notify us. We will launch the drone automatically. You just simply type in the address. We have a commander. We have a pilot sitting in the room, much like this, with with
Cool.
TVs all over, so they can see the drone's view, the point of view, and they will send the drone to that location. You type in the address, the drone automatically heads there. It'll hover, it'll zoom in 400 times and tell you exactly what's going on at the scene before the officer even gets there. We also use it for house watches. So say you go on vacation and you'd like us to look at your house, which we do. We do that all the time.
Sure.
We used to send officers out there to walk around the house, take time to walk around. Sometimes the fences were locked. You couldn't get in the backyard. Guess what? Now the drone will do it automatically. We'll be able to take that drone, make sure there's no entrance into the house, no forced entry, and the drone will take care of that for you as well. Pretty cool.
Okay, I'm coming over to see
it's
you.
pretty cool.
Remember the last time we did the drive around?
This is new. This is new. So it's a really neat.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, we're excited about it, and I know there's a lot of Big Brother people out there that are worried about it. But listen, we use it proactively. Reactively. Okay. I'm sorry. We use it reactively. We use it we're not just driving around looking at people. We use it for calls for service if something drops. We had a major accident happen the other day, just yesterday.
So cool.
And the drone got there before the officers got there. It didn't look like there was any injuries. Hey, listen, everybody looks stable. Everybody's fine. They're walking around. No need to call an ambulance right now.
You know how to operate from there. Well, Mayor Don McCoy, let's tell people, before we close the segment, what else do you want people to know about the great city of Fulshear?
Well, I know one thing was we're ultimately very committed to transparency and communication, because an uneducated public, people assume too many things. So one thing, I commend the police department on their Citizens Police Academy, the Rookie Responder, where they teach young drivers what to do if they get pulled over by a police officer, and talk about the dangers of texting and driving. All the proactive things that our police department is great. The city also has a facts class where you can sign up and come learn what it takes to run a city. A lot of people, where does your water come from? What is infrastructure all about? A lot of people read things on social media. Please try not to make that your only place to go. But we offer all kinds of resources on our website at fulsheartexas.gov, and that's Fulshear, Texas spelled out .gov. Your local chamber of commerce is always there, fulshearregional.com, to help guide you and answer any questions or get you connected with the right person. Ultimately, as I wanted to say, and I had in closing, is that growth is something that is happening to Fulshear, but we're all going to manage this together as a community, and that's what we are. We love it when people come to our city council meetings. All of our council meetings are videotaped, and you can go back and look in perpetuity almost at every meeting we've had to find out what was said. I just want people to know that the staff, the city council, our police department, everyone who works for the city of Fulshear, we're there working for you, and most of us live there too. Okay, so it's my city as well.
The city.
It's my city. It's my home. Come ask and let's have a discussion if you're unclear about something. I can certainly find out the answer or give you the answer right there on aisle 3 at Home Depot if you want it.
Mayor Don McCoy is
Fulshear, Texas, all spelled out, .gov.
Captain McCoy. But first of all, we do want to say, again, thanks for Chief Seymour.
He told me to tell you hi today.
And we say hi to him and all those that serve, not just in Fulshear, but around. But a final word, Captain McCoy.
Yeah, I just want to tell you that I appreciate you taking the time to let me talk about the city of Fulshear, because I truly do love that city. I live there. My oldest daughter lives there. My grandkids live there in the city. We just love that city, and we truly care. I will say that this guy here, I know he's my brother, but he's also the mayor. But since he's become mayor, we used to see each other at least once a week for a movie. Since he's become mayor, that doesn't happen anymore. He's always working. Every time I call him, other than I've seen him at church on Sundays, that's really the only time I get to see him, and then right now. So I'm glad to see him today. So,
well, it's good to have you both. Yep. Thank you again for your service. Now, for realtors in a hurry, they're moving from house to house. If they're going a little bit above the speed limit, you pull them over. What happens, Captain?
Well, hopefully, if they've never received citations in the past, we might give them a warning.
Just a warning. Okay,
help them out. Yeah, we'll help them.
No
out.
promises, all right?
Right.
Thanks, guys, for being with us.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
As we continue, let's talk to a real live real estate professional. Her name is Emily Rollins with Top Guns Realty. Emily, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Bill. Again.
Well, it's good to see you again. It has not been that long, but since we saw you, I'm seeing your Facebook, I'm seeing all the activities, all your promotions. Let's tell people about what you're doing and where you're doing it.
Right now, I am a realtor in Montgomery County, primarily Montgomery County. I do go outside Harris, Fort Bend. I grew up in Fort Bend County, so I do still have family and friends in that area. But I would say my bread and butter is Montgomery County for the most part.
And people love Montgomery County.
We do. Yeah, it's been good.
I want to ask you a social media tip, because one of the things that you do, a lot of people do, but it seems like you're very successful at it. When you're on the show, somehow you get thousands of views. So let's tell people, how can we increase our views on Facebook?
Take your
trick?
filter off of your mouth. Well, I say that. So maybe you don't sometimes, but
Right.
I don't know. I guess to not make everything so scripted, I try to be very raw and real with everybody that I work with. I know a lot of people talk about the good old days, right? And I wish it was the way it used to be. Well, that's part of my job is how do you envision your life? What do you see? What do you see for your life in this home? And where do you want to be? Where do you want your kids to go to school? You know, in 10 years or when they graduate, where do you see yourself? And some people say, well, I don't know. I kind of just want to pay off a house and live there forever. And I'm like, okay, well, where do we see this area going? So I paint that picture for them. So part of what I do is, hey, this is what long-term looks like in this home. Is that something that'll work for you? So I always tell people, if you want the good old days, create it yourself. You know, you are the creator of your life and your story. So it's up to you, no matter where you are, create that life for you or for your family.
And as we think about designing our life, as much as we're able to make choices, where we live and the real estate we dwell in and our family and maybe invest in, it's a big part of the equation.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one of my biggest goals in life is I want to do well because my heart wants a bay house for the family. So we're big saltwater people. When we were in Sugar Land, did a lot of fishing. We actually lived in Lake Jackson for a little bit too, and that was nice because we got to fish all the time. So part of my story and what I do is really making it about the family because truly that's what my life is about in the first place. So
that's pretty awesome. Let's tell people the question everybody asks the realtor when they see him at the grocery store and on the radio or whatever else. How's the market?
Yeah.
You knew.
Oh, God. Okay, so it really just depends on where you're at. So, for instance, I've got a house right now, amazing house. It's a corner lot, though. It's got kind of a busier street, but it's 3-car garage, has a pool, priced competitively. Older home, so it has character, but they've updated plumbing, AC. We're talking all the HVAC, all the ventilation, everything's been updated. So it's a brand spanking new home. But I said, okay, well, the thing we're going to be fighting most about this home is, are they cool with the street noise? And I say that because there's people coming from acreage that need to move closer to the city. That's a problem. So they want something a little further in the street, right? But then you've got people coming off of a corner, you know, in Houston, and they're like, oh, that's nothing. That's minimal traffic.
It's all
that's
relative.
nothing.
Yeah.
It's all relative, exactly. So, you know, I said, this home is either going to move super quick or it's going to take a while. It was on the market 2 weeks, you know, and that's not too shabby. I've got another one. It was on the market for not even 24 hours more recently. Not too bad. But then I have homes in other places that price competitively, beautiful new home. I mean, we're talking 10% below comps in the neighborhood. And all the showing feedback is all positive things. And, oh, I love the home. Just wish it was a 1-story. Well, buddy, it was a 2-story when you looked at it. It was a 2-story when it was online. So when people say, how's the market? I think it's all relative to, is your home market ready? Are you ready to be realistic in negotiations? And how quick are you willing to get out of your house? Because there's people that want to move in tomorrow. So.
And of course, people have to price it right.
You have to price it right, yeah. And I feel like that's so repetitive, and I appreciate you saying that because every time we're on the show, you're like, hey, man, price is driving everything, and it does. It drives a lot of stuff in life.
So how do we price it right? And in my mind, I'm thinking, man, I have to get at least this. So how do we do that?
It all boils down to a math problem. So I come to your house and I say, hey, Bill, this is what comps say. So if comps said this, but, you know, Tom down the street put a new roof and all new windows on his house, you've got an original roof and your windows are single pane and they look rough. And your window sills, mold and mildew everywhere. Is that bad? He doesn't have mold and mildew everywhere, guys. Sorry.
I really don't. But
he
does
doesn't. But anyways, but being realistic in your situation and saying, I would come in your house and say, hey, this is where we compare with comps. They have a pool, a new fence. They've upgraded all these things. You have only maintained your home. Your fence is on its last leg, all these things. So we have to be realistic in our price. Or we have to say, hey, I've got a little extra money in the bank. Let's go ahead and upgrade these things so we can truly compete with the comps that are out there on the market.
So the other thing, are you seeing certain trends in Montgomery County? Anything happening? Still a lot of growth?
So much growth. There's so many master plan communities. And I think one of the biggest things that I'm seeing is people saying, hey, I love these master plan communities, but man, this tax rate's going to kick my butt. Or, this HOA fee is going to kick my butt. And so working with clients and saying, you want all these things, but this is where we're at with what you need. Here are the communities that actually do work for you with with the criteria you're giving me. So understanding the big picture from, lifestyle all the way down to budget.
What about people when you right now, what's your ratio, buyers and sellers that you're helping? 50-50 or I know it moves?
Ooh, right now, I would say I'm probably 60-40, 60 on sellers, 40 on buyers. And I say that because we're in the summer months. I've had some, I listed some stuff late spring that's finally moving. So that's why I'm seeing a little higher split on the seller side than buyer right now. But the market is buyer heavy, a little more buyer heavy than it has been in previous months because people are finally making a move.
And regarding the sellers, how often are you helping a family or an individual that's leaving Texas? Sometimes they leave.
Right. I've got, in fact, there's one client right now, purchased a home a couple years ago, but they always move. They're prior military, both the husband and wife. So moving, that's normal. That's just part of life, right? So they will be moving out of state. But I mean, aside from them, off the top of my head, no, everybody's staying. I mean, and even if they're from out of state, they moved here and they are moving again. It's because they're moving to Fort Bend County, or they're, moving into Harris County, or, just a neighboring county to Montgomery County or the county that they did purchase in.
We're talking with Emily Rollins with Top Gun Realty. So, Emily, what are some of the other things we should be thinking about? And why do you love real estate so much? What keeps you in this profession?
I love that you asked that because I was looking on Indeed for other career options when it got a little rough the other day. No, I'm just kidding. I love what I do. I truly do. My favorite part about my job is having a successful transaction. That's my favorite part. I'm even okay with having a tough transaction when there's a win at the end. The hardest part is when maybe, and I hate to even say this, but this is the unfortunate side, when something negative happens in life, whether it's a job move that they really didn't want, but they have to take it because it's what's best for their family. So kids are sad they're moving schools and, they're sad that they're moving away from their cousins. And it's like, that breaks your heart because the win is you did your job, you got the house sold. But the sad part is like the human part of it is, man, those babies can't play with their cousins across the street anymore. And that like childhood is so important. Oh, sorry, that's going to get me choked up. But it's like, that's so important. So I'm like, see, I'm going to cry thinking about it.
So, tender moments with Emily Rollins right here on the Big Show.
Yeah, that's rare. I know. You got me this morning.
You're getting me choked up, Emily. The poor kids.
I know.
But they're going to go somewhere and maybe make new friends and learn about another part of the country.
Adapt and overcome, right?
Yeah.
In so many situations in life. And so it's like it'll make those kiddos resilient.
Hope do you have any? But that's also, to me, the fascinating thing about real estate. As I look at people, whether they're here in Texas or anywhere else, what triggers a move, what makes us do one thing versus another. Life is dynamic and fascinating like that.
Absolutely.
So when you're not busy helping buyers and sellers, Emily Rollins, how do you unwind? How do you relax? And how do you get ready for the next
I don't know,
adventure?
man. I've got little ones, so I'm like, there's no slowing down. So if I'm not working with clients, I'm either hanging out with the kiddos. We've got a lake in our neighborhood too. So if I can't get to saltwater, we go to the neighborhood lake. So we'll hop on the side-by-side, take the kids' poles down and go get some worms from the neighbor across the street. He usually has some in his fridge. So we'll go grab them from him, or we'll just go get some from the corner store. So then we'll go and fish with the kiddos. I say kiddos, the 15-year-old and the 2.5-year-old. The 1-year-old doesn't know that that's on the horizon for her, but so Case, he's 2.5. He's probably somewhere with a monster truck and a bucket of water. And then little Miss Walker May, she's at school learning today with her friends.
Well, what's interesting? You paint a tremendous picture, and I'm thinking about the neighbor with the worms. I've never gone to my neighbor to say, do you have any worms? And I never will. Emily, let's tell people how they can reach you in case they need help buying and selling.
Yeah, you could call me 713-295-1994. That is 713-295-1994.
It's so good to see you again.
You too.
Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
As we continue, let's talk to Christina Gibson. She is with CB&A Realtors and the Excite Realty Group. Christina, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, let's tell people CB&A Realtors and also your group within the brokerage. Let's tell people a little bit about your company.
So CB&A Realtors, that's Chance Brown and Associates. I love my brokerage. Our wonderful broker is one of the Texas commissioners, and he is just very knowledgeable and amazing. He has done so much for all of our agents, and he just continues to amaze me with everything he provides for us.
Well, and also geographically, realtors like yourself, you have a Texas real estate license. You can go anywhere in Texas. Let's tell people where you have been for the most part recently, geographically, where you're helping your buyers and sellers.
Sure. So I live in Fulshear, and I do service Fort Bend County. I service Fulshear, Katy, Brookshire, Sealy, Richmond, Rosenberg, Needville, and then I will go all the way down to the Brazoria County area, Lake Jackson. I'm originally from that area, so I don't mind helping out friends and family in that area as well.
Well, what's interesting is people talk a lot about Katy, which is west of the main part of Houston. We talk about Fulshear, but you've mentioned a few places that are not as big as those cities or towns. Let's tell people a little bit about what's going on in the smaller places like Sealy and Brookshire, because they also have a lot of draw and a lot of attraction for people.
Yes, just like Fulshear is growing as well. So Sealy and Brookshire, those cities are also growing. There's lots of new development out there, lots of new sections for subdivisions, just a lot of new places to eat, a lot of shops, a lot of shopping. Everything is growing west.
Well, as far as Brookshire and Sealy in particular, I think about that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's an area where there might be more land, maybe you want a little more elbow room, acreage, and so forth. Is that true? Can we get that there in Sealy?
Yes, there's a lot of acreage out there. It's lots of land properties with also a lot of development as well. So you have a little bit of everything. You've got land, you've got acreage, country homes and acreage, and you have subdivisions.
And also, when you talk about subdivisions, it sounds like developers have found their way because there's only so much land, so we keep going west, right?
Yes.
So there's new constructions, what I'm getting at, right?
Yes, there is new construction. In fact, one of my buyers just closed out in Hunter's Crossing in Sealy, and they have multiple phases out there. And so they're on phase 2, and my client purchased out for, phase 2.
So if we want to buy a brand new construction home, we can go to some of these places out there.
Absolutely. For the Hunter's Crossing, their price ranges are all over the place. It starts around $300,000.
And we've talked about it on the show with actually some of the builders, but it seems like builders at this point in time are also offering certain incentives, which might be another reason to buy a brand new construction.
Yes, absolutely. Incentives are all different based on different builders. They all offer different things. Some can do lower interest rates. Some can, help you with your concessions for when you're, wanting a little bit of help extra for the down payment or closing costs or anything like that. So there's a lot of different things. Sometimes they'll even include package deals for like appliances or things like that. They do have a lot of different types of incentives and a lot of different ways to help all the different types of buyers.
And at this point in time, as far as working with buyers and sellers, how many you've got some listings and you're also helping buyers?
Yes, right now it's a little 50-50. I've been helping a little more sellers, but overall it's a 50-50. I really love them both, so absolutely. I think they're both beneficial, especially with, listing. You get to put your sign up there, and it's just a really proud moment when you get to put your name up there. And people drive by and they get to notice you, and that's exciting for me. And then when you're helping your buyers, your focus is just on them, and you get to, you get to drive around and you get to help them and you get to show them everything from start to finish, and you're just there for them the whole way. So a lot of it's relationship building. And then also, you also get to advertise during that time too. So, I mean, who wouldn't want to do that?
That's a good thing. We're talking with Christina Gibson with CB&A Realtors. Christina, you could be doing a lot of things in life other than being a real estate professional. Give us an idea and tell everybody what it was like, why you chose being a realtor versus whatever else. What is it that you love about the profession so much?
I really enjoy and love helping people. Just helping people with one of the biggest transactions of their life, and just being able to be there for them, guide them, help answer all of those questions that they need, just being there as a guidance for them. And then I also get to spend a lot of time with them. I nurture that relationship, and it's not just a transaction to me. It's a lifetime of friendship that I get to, I have a lot of friends now. So it's people that I meet that are strangers, they become friends forever. So I think that's really awesome. One of the main things that brought me to that is really, my family. So being able to be a little flexible, although we are always busy, I do have the flexibility to not have to call into work that day because I have to take one of my children to the doctor's office, or I want to go meet my daughter and see, one of her competitions. And I'm able to be flexible. I can rearrange my schedule. I can move some things around, and I can have that, bigger flexibility with that.
And right now, one of the things we hear so much about is interest rates. As you're helping, well, either buyers or sellers, but especially the buyer right now, are they not yet used to the interest rate that's become the norm, or is there still some groaning about that? What are you hearing?
There's still some groaning about it. There's people who are always worried about the interest rates. They have been fluctuating a little bit, but they're still kind of in the 6-7 range. I do try and remind people that, during that epic time period, that was going to be one of the lowest interest rates you'll see. I don't ever see that coming back like that again. Sometimes I'll remind people that before that area, interest rates were around the 6 to 7. And so it's kind of similar. Nothing has really changed too much. The only thing is, I know that they're focusing on their monthly payments. So I like to sit down with them and just kind of go over those numbers so that they can get a visual. I'm a visual person, so I feel like that helps them better. As long as we have that visual so we can see kind of where they're going to be at with their interest rate, kind of go over what their focus is their monthly payment. So I work with their lender, or I work with the lender to just make sure that we're within their limits. And then if they do mention that, oh gosh, the interest rate is so high, I always share with them, we can always refinance down the road. I know some lenders will give them a certain amount of time frame, 6 months to a year, things like that. So even if they find something that they really want, they really love, and that interest rate is a little too high right now, that's okay, because they can always refinance. They can always wait for that.
And one of the things, Christina, realtors have to have so many relationships with great title companies, lenders, things like that. But also, as you help sellers and even buyers, sometimes the home needs some work. And I understand that you have a pretty good company and person that if we need a little painting, we need a little remodeling, a little touch-up here and there, you have a direct connection with a fantastic resource. Let's tell people about that.
I do. I have a fantastic resource, which is my husband.
How about that?
I know. He's kind of like my built-in everything. His name is Jay Gibson, and he owns Morrison Painting and Renovations. They do exterior, interior. He works with a lot of realtors, and they do such a great job. I mean, we've used them personally. I've used him personally.
He's your husband, but right, yeah.
Husband. So,
but you recommend him and he delivers.
I do. His customer service is just spot on. He was in the restaurant industry forever. And, our customer service is one of the most important things that we do, that we focus on. And we just want to make sure that we hear our clients and our customers. And yeah.
That sounds good. Well, the name of his company again is?
Morrison Painting and Renovation. He can be reached at 281-505-7525. And again, 281-505-7525.
So there you go. And I'm going to give him a call, by the way. Just saying, now if someone needs help buying or selling their property, they can call you, and let's tell people how to reach you.
Sure. You can reach me. My cell phone number is 979-824-2817. And again, that's 979-824-2817.
Christina Gibson, CB&A Realtors. And we say hello to Chance, also Chance Brown, right?
Yes.
That sounds good. Thanks for being with us, Christina.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Bill.
Hey, everybody. Stewart Insurance. I want to tell you, Stewart Title, we have title insurance. We'd be honored to be stewards of your real estate transaction, but also Stewart Insurance, home, auto, broker, E&O, cyber policies, all those things. Stewart Insurance is there to help you. You just reach out to them at 866-798-2827. That's Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. Go to stewartinsurance.com, the full menu of all the offerings, great things. And also, their company is growing. If you're looking for an opportunity, you could also reach out to them at stewartinsurance.com. Again, 866-798-2827. And now, speaking of resources, Hope Moy is here.
My two branches are in Montgomery County, in Magnolia, and Conroe.
People love to close real estate transactions there.
They do.
All the time.
They do. We love working with all of our real estate industry friends. Something that you get with Stewart is the corporate innovation, the digital solutions, all of the things. But what you get with Stewart is that you get the local support, you get the community things, you get one-on-one help. And please call me at 346-224-1908. Again, it's 346-224-1908. I'll see you soon.
We talked about Fulshear. We have a Stewart Title tucked away right there in the town of Fulshear. And in Katy, Chance, let's tell people your offices are.
Katy and Fulshear.
And they could talk to you. They can bring transactions to dynamic cities. Mm-hmm. You're also helping the real estate world out there.
Yes, I am here to help you. I want you to use me as a resource. Me and my team are here to help you.
It's a great team. Yeah.
Yes, it's amazing. I love every single one of them. Listen, if your real estate agents are always on the run, you always got stuff going on, let me be a resource for you. If you need HOA fees, I can pull that for you. If you need deed restrictions, I can pull that for you. If you need the MUD, notice of purchaser document, when you get to closing time, I can do that for you. If you need to know title commitment, my escrow officers can talk to you about that and let you know anything about it. You can reach me at 346-827-4588. Again, 346-827-4588.
We're bringing back the mayor of Fulshear, Don McCoy, and Captain Mike McCoy for a final goodbye. Gentlemen, as we close the show, as always, it's good to see you. Hope to have you and the team back. Maybe Chief Seymour will return one day, and Officer Jennifer. They're legendary.
Maybe we can bring K9 Blue in.
And K9 Blue doing tremendous work out there. Let's tell K9 Blue, for those that don't know, is a police dog.
Yeah.
And what kind is it? The Belgian Malinois or the
K9
German
Blue,
Shepherd?
he looks like a long-haired black German Shepherd, but he's actually a Belgian Tervuren.
Wow.
It's hard to pronounce, but he's from Czech. And so all his commands are in Czech. He's 8 years old now, but he looks like a 2-year-old. He's very, very healthy because Officer Edmonds feeds him nothing but raw. And so he's very muscular. He's like an athlete. He's a great dog, great for the community.
Yeah, Don, you're kind of like an athlete too, right? The mayor of Fulshear has a lot of athletic prowess, I'm told.
They do keep me running around quite a bit. It's exciting in Fulshear, and I like to say, everybody thinks BFF is what is it? Best friends forever? No. In Fulshear, it's be Fulshear friendly.
And
if we could just be Fulshear friendly and just know that Fulshear is where the heart is, and if you spell Fulshear, Texas as one word, the word heart appears right in the middle. There is no other city in the world that can say that. So Fulshear is where the heart is, and I can prove it.
And the website there is?
In Fulshear, Texas, it's Fulshear, Texas, spelled out .gov. And if you need some other resources, FulshearRegional.com is the chamber address.
And Captain, we've talked a lot about your social media presence and your Facebook page. If people are not connected with it, we want to make sure that we add another 10,000 listeners at least. How can those that just want to enjoy the postings that you all put, how can they find your Facebook page?
Well, thank you. It's facebook.com/Fulshear Police, just those two words, Fulshear Police. We're also on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, or they call it X now. Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thanks for being with us. And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik. Check out stewart.com/radio. You could see the show right here on the YouTube video, stewart.com/radio, or simply go to Radio Bill. That's our YouTube channel, Radio Bill. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.